Hi everybody, greetings. It's RPG Grandma, and I'm here with another episode of Reading with Grandma and continuing the Book of Artifacts by the Dragon Tree Press. All right, I tried filming this last night, but it was a no-go between dogs and people, phones ringing. So I'm hiding in a small, teeny tiny cubby at work on my lunch break. So we'll try this again. My voice is still messed up. Sorry. Not much I can do about that. So we're going to start with A Trap. Miscarriage of Confusion by B.E. And that is, that's Ben Easel. All right. Wholesales 10,000, retails 20,000. Rare Hoax. Pumpkin-shaped carriage. Appears as a pumpkin-shaped carriage trimmed in ruby red velvet with gilt fringe and tassels, having a pendant at each corner. On closer inspection, the viewers will note that it does not have a tongue or anything to which to attach beasts of labor. Also, the wheels will be flattened on the bottom. There are 2 doors, each with 1 window in it. Only 1 door can be open at any time. The interior is royal purple, with a gold rug on the floor and gilt fringe. After players has entered, the door has been closed behind. A magic mouth will appear, which can be heard only by those inside, and say, to each of you, 1 answer, give, i.e., only 1 question will be answered from each person, except on 99 through 100. The answers will be useless or worse. 01 through 25 in ancient Aramaic, Coptic, or other dead language. 26 through 45, a riddle. 46 through 65, a pun. 66 through 90, poetic. 91 through 98, correct answer, but cryptic form. 99 through 100, correct answer, straight. No one can enter or leave the carriage until the first group has finished their questions. Well, that's something fun. Like I said, not everything in here is deadly. Some of it's just fun. All right. Mordor's Box. That's by T.L. Tom Laurie. So it wholesales for 70,000, retails for 90,000. Uncommon Trap. Chest, 6 inches by 6 inches by 6 inches with silver inlay. This box has a small label on the bottom. Wong, Sun, Hong Kong. When opened, it will produce an endless supply of whites. 1d6 per melee round, 4 plus 3 hit die. Well, that could be difficult. You're definitely going to get the box closed. I would probably have a surprise roll in there. Potential for them to drop the box, thus it stays open. And then they got to get to the box while fighting the whites. Yeah, could be difficult. Rack of Procurtus by Dana again. 10,000 wholesale, 30,000 retail. Very rare trap. Standard rack detects as magic. This rack requires 2 people to operate and causes normal pain to the victim, but no damage. For each round the victim is stretched on the rack, he grows 1 inch and gains 2 pounds. The operators each lose 1/2 inch and 1 pound. No character may be reduced to less than 50 pounds or 3 feet height or raised to more than 9 feet, all sizes. Dungeon Master's option. When this is about to occur, the victim is teleported elsewhere. Random or Dungeon Master's option. Deluxe model racks lower themselves 1/2 inch each round so that the torturers are less likely to notice their own shrinking. Now that's a fun thing to stick in the torture chambers, especially if you have players who like to torture their victims, their captives. Wonder what kind of game you're playing. So obviously we're doing traps on page 7, just so you know. Let's do one more, kind of making up for lost days here. Staphyllia's Chimes. This one's by Mary. It wholesales for 50,000. Retails for 75,000. Rare trap. Set of 6-inch brass chimes suspended from golden ring. There are 6 chimes in all, each having one of the following words engraved on it. Magic, weapons, dance to my music. When any chime is struck, dropped, or otherwise sounded, all magic weapons in a 60-foot will dance and attack their possessors for 10 rounds, save Dungeon Master's option. Dungeon Master options. The chimes will continue to hum during this time if hum is muffled. I imagine it was supposed to say isn't muffled. Chime disassembled or weapons taken out of range. Attacks may cause. Each weapon has 10 hits to kill per plus or ability. If all hits to kill are lost, weapon loses its magic permanently. All right, so that finishes half of page 7. And then we have the other half to do. Let's see. And then we will move on to wands and staffs. So we're getting there. We're getting out of the traps. All right. For those of you going, no, not another trap. Bring on the adventurers equipment. So we're going to do a little bit of adventurers equipment. Boots of Rondo Earthshaker by Dana. 75,000 wholesale, 100,000 retail. Unique, high level. Heavy boots caked with mud. The caked mud cannot be removed from these boots. They attract dirt rather than drop it, and if someone walks across a dusty floor in them, they will leave a trail of clean footprints. However, trying to remove the mud can have interesting results. If one boot is stamped on the ground, it will cause a minor earthquake. 2 to 10 rounds. All combat during the quake is at a -2. Pointing at an intended victim before stamping will cause a fissure to open beneath him. Depth 20 plus 1d100 feet. Will close again in 1d4 rounds, or Dungeon Master's option. Landing hard on both boots will cause a volcano to erupt directly under the wearer's feet. He must roll dexterity, -4, or die at once. Then dexterity, -2 for each round to stay ahead of the lava, which will spread at a rate of 20 feet per round for 2d20 rounds. A kick from these boots does 3d6 damage to any creature or can knock down to a 10-foot square section of normal stone wall 2 feet thick. However, if the wearer kicks cold iron, he will take 3d4 damage from a stubbed toe. So it's got some benefits, got some downsides. That can be a quality of a lot of magical items, actually. It should not be overlooked if you're creating something. It's okay for things to have flaws. Having a flaw doesn't make it a trap per se or curse per se, but it can make it interesting and challenging to use. Boots of Safety by Mary, 30,000 wholesale, 50,000 retail. Uncommon for fighters only, well-padded boots. If a melee battle brings the wearer below 2 hits to kill per his level, he will immediately be teleported to the safest place within 20 feet per his level. Has 2d10 charges or Dungeon Master's option. Souls of Valor. This is by Mary Ann Ben. 1,000 wholesale, 2,000 retail. Rare trap, sturdy, well-polished boots. Dungeon Master's option, decorated with their name. These boots will give the wearer +1 to hit, damage, and morale, and will never run from a fight. That's the downside. If you want to retreat, they're not going to let you. See the give and take. All right. Next episode, we'll do Dorian Gray's cloak. And we'll do something from the clothing section. So there'll be traps next one. Maybe we can finish that up. Finish up the Cloak of Dorian Gray. And maybe we'll move on to clothing. Maybe we won't. But we will be in a position to now have 2 new chapters to start on. So we're getting there, people. I'm hoping you're finding this interesting. I'm hoping it's making you think about magical items you may have in your campaigns now. Possibly tweaking magical items, making new magical items from everyday things. Opening up your imaginations. That's one of the reasons I'm taking you through Dragon Tree Press. This book here. Some of the stuff is beautiful the way it is. Other things you might want to tweak. Having magic be a give and a take. It gives you something, but it takes something. It has a benefit, but it also has a negative. Is not a bad idea. It helps prevent abuse, and if nothing else, leads to hilarious situations, like the time the bard, I think he was a bard, yeah. The bard in a playgroup that I was in, which we took turns DMing. My character used a wand that she had. It did its thing and accidentally turned the bard into a talking pony who happened to be pink. I did save the day. I forget what was happening, why I would need to use the wand or any of that. But I remember we ended up with a talking pony that was pink. in the whole, at the end of the combat and everything. And let me tell you, it was priceless. On top of that, we had to hide him. We had to dye him regularly. He hated being in the stables, but he had to go in the stables. He hated being on hitchy posts and not being able to say anything, or like he would learn to throw his voice and stuff like that. But we had to keep him hidden, pretend he was a regular pony, because word did get out that there was in fact a big pony that could talk. And then every princess from every realm, including ones far, far away, from emperors to some guy with 40 acres somewhere who had a lot of money, wanted that pony for their daughters. So getting him turned back into a regular fellow became a priority, to say the least, while we were trying to adventure and keep our pony hidden. You know, when you're wanted alive by every bounty hunter on the planet, yeah, not dead. Yeah, they wanted the pony alive and unharmed. They were paying a lot for that, and they didn't want the rest of the party. You know, we were also, our pictures, because kings like to interview people whenever. But yeah, it was fun. So yeah, somebody got My Little Pony. He did get turned back to normal eventually. Compliments of a dragon. But yeah, it was crazy. So anyway, that's my little D&D story. One of the funner ones. Maybe I'll tell you about the magical item I'm going to be making down the road and the story behind it someday. Anyway, y'all have a good one. You know what to do. Subscribe. Hit that like button. Leave a little comment. And have a great, beautiful day. Bye, everybody in Internet land.